with me. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Walk up on the stage and the crowd be like, there she goes. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Walk up on the stage and the crowd be like, there she goes. Yeah, I be busy pushing records on my own. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, videos like me. Follow me on social media. Labels want you to have 1 million followers. Won't sign me, don't mind me. I do the work on my own independently. I'ma keep trying, I'ma keep shining. Putting work every day, stay grinding. Life of an artist, trying to get signed, yo. Ain't gonna let no label rob me of my shine, yo. Not me, yo. You can keep those contracts, that's what not me, yo. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Walk up on the stage and the crowd be like, there she goes. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Walk up on the stage and the crowd be like, there she goes. If one more label try to stop me, it'll be another label. Wish they would have signed me. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. If one more label try to stop me, it'll be another label. Wish they would have signed me. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Hey.
All right.
Well, welcome to IAG Radio Show. We are so glad to be here on another episode, another Wednesday. This is going to be an action-packed Wednesday with just dialogue, because I just feel like there's just so many things that are going on, and we just legitimately need to just talk about what in the world is going on in the world. And here's the deal. IAG Radio Show is here to provide you a welcoming, positive platform to showcase your artistry and share those who are pursuing their passion. And we love those who are following their passion, if it's in being a chef, a poet, an author, a financial analyst, a singer, a writer, a DJ, a card maker, whatever it is that your passion is, we're here to support you, and that's what we're here to do. So if you know anybody who's doing their thing and needs some help and just want to put it out there and show their grind, just give us a shout out at IAG Radio Show on all social media platforms, and you can hit us up at IAGRadioshow@gmail.com, because we definitely read our messages. So let's get into this conversation. Like, first and foremost, over the weekend in Washington, D.C., there was the Unite the Right march. And so we talked about this last week while shout out to Von Barkis, who was on our show last week. We talked about how Metro had made a statement saying that they would not have private trains for any of the members of the Unite the Right march, only to find out that they had a specialized one train only that barricaded them, provided security. Police officers were on the actual train and everything to that effect.
Was it one train, or was it one? I thought it was one car on a train.
No, it was one full train.
Really?
One full train. They had a specialized time of departure and arrival. There was only 23 members that were in participation on that day, and there were a plethora of alt-left members in DC. Yes, and there was invitations given to come out to Anacostia, that we were going to have a barbecue for them, and beat your feet experience and everything like that. But somehow they didn't accept the invitation.
Of course not.
So they didn't make it to Anacostia. But there is something that I want to talk about, is the fact that there was a plethora of people, not just African Americans, but there were white people, there were Asian people, there were people of all nationalities that were present to say that this is not okay. Just being a racist is never going to be okay, and I'm choosing to not allow my child to grow up in the ideology of thinking that it is okay to be a racist. And I think that was probably the best thing that I saw transpiring on Sunday. And the part that was really interesting was that I had the opportunity to go see BlacKkKlansman or BlacKkK, right, which is an individual who was undercover, was the first African American police officer at the Colorado Springs force, who then decided to say, hey, I want to go undercover. And in doing so, he discovered a plethora of politicos who were high level ranking KKKsmen that were willing and able to develop a war against African Americans in Colorado Springs. And so Spike Lee directed this movie. The part that was really interesting is that it was released on Friday, August the 10th, which is only a year to date reunion of Charlottesville, August 11th of 2017. And it was just crazy because there was this guy named David Duke that was in the movie, and it just didn't ring a bell to me.
Really?
It didn't ring a bell of David Duke. Like, while you're watching the movie, I don't know, have you had an opportunity to see the movie?
I haven't seen the movie, but I know who David Duke is.
Okay, it didn't register not one time to me, from real life to in the movie, who David Duke was. But basically, there was a lot of things that were very comical, and there were a lot of things that were very just like hurtful to hear. But nonetheless, Spike Lee did an amazing job. The actors did a wonderful job. I feel like it had to have been difficult for a lot of the Caucasian actors to say and act the way that they did. Because it seems like if they're in a Spike Lee movie, obviously they probably are not legitimately racist, right? And so it was just a very interesting, eye-opening experience. And like at the end of the movie, they parallel the entire movie to what's happening now. And they're talking about how, like, basically there are people in power who are trying to make America great again, who are political people who are trying, our microphones are on and popping tonight,
right?
Who are trying to make sure that their agenda is pushed. So instead of it being outlandish, outright racism, it's affirmative action recourse. It's welfare reduction, which is interesting because most of these things are heavily, predominantly white use. You know what I'm saying? Like food stamps, heavily white use. Drugs, heavily white use. And that was just a conversation I had with a friend. Like, she's like, you know, there's a lot of black people who all they do is smoke weed every day. Wait a minute. There's a plethora of white people, if we're going to go there, that do that all the time.
They do more than that.
Lines of cocaine. I was talking to my best friend when I had the opportunity to run away to Philly, and she's in a hospital doing her residency or whatever. And she's been approached by many of white residents, and other high level people in the hospital to be like, yeah, you just want to hit this line real quickly, like functioning addicts that are in healthcare. So nonetheless, that's a
drug business wouldn't be that profitable if all it catered to was that segment of blacks.
If it was for us,
drugs.
it would be no drug business.
If it was just the segment of blacks that do drugs,
right,
they wouldn't spend put in the effort or the risk to bring it over here. So it's a whole lot of people that use drugs, functional addicts. We see them every day.
Yeah, I mean, my question to you all is, like, how do you feel about the fact that this march was held in our city, in the city of Washington, D.C.? I know there's plenty of people who are tuning in from different area codes. Won't he do it?
Won't he will.
Come through the syndication on Spotify, Google
Hey now.
Music, and, we just moving things up. IAG keep on moving on up. But nonetheless, like, how would you feel if they being the alt right comes to your city and there's all this protection given?
Well, what the story, as I've heard it a few times, Metro is now trying to cop the plea of, oh no, it wasn't us, it was the police. The police did it for, not
safety.
only for safety reasons, you know, for protection of citizens and protection of them, which I get that part of it also. But you didn't have to separate it. It could have just been a heavier police presence on the train, a police officer in every car, maybe, you know, a few police officers on the platform. You didn't have to isolate them to, you know, one train, because then you're absolutely giving into exactly what they wanted anyway. Right. So they're calling for the head of Metro. They're calling for his resignation.
I think he definitely should. He makes $430,000 a year,
and the train's always late.
And then he said that the workers who operate the trains making $35 an hour make too much. Really? Let's not go there.
They gotta put up with. They need to, because I get sick and tired of the people, the boys and the kids, all on the train holding up the doors, breaking the cars down.
Right. I mean, it's just ridiculous, right? So the point is that this same protection was given to David Duke in the film, and this was real life. And it's very interesting how they're heavily protected, but should we have a march, we're heavily barricaded. And then the people who we're marching against are then still protected
because they fear us.
Right. And what is that fear? I don't really know what that fear is. Just like there was a little boy who was going to school in Florida. His father was able to get his uniform, his whole uniform. The first day of school, goes in and is told his son cannot actually go to school. Like, he's kicked out of the school because he has locks.
What?
I'm dead serious.
I hadn't heard that one.
I didn't hear that neither. No. What? I am not in my head.
I mean, how would you feel, Bevin? I mean, Trev and Bevin, you guys have kids, so tell me how you would feel about that.
I would be livid, and my son would have still been in that school. It was no way that no. We're gonna rectify this situation, not now, but right now. I'm not paying all this money for you to tell me my son can't go here because of his hair. You didn't say that when Charlie came in here with the mohawk, so don't say it when Jonathan comes in here with locks.
It's funny because, well, it's not really funny, but I cut my hair in part because of how it's perceived in the professional environment. But at the same time, when you look at how long my hair was, which wasn't, if you really, compare it to other people's hair, it really wasn't that long at all. Maybe an inch, maybe inch and a half. You know what I mean? And I'm looked at as if I'm I don't know, unprofessional, or they're thinking, oh, maybe he's militant. But then I look at some of my coworkers, particularly the white ones, their hair's a lot of long
ponytail.
Hair. You know what I mean? And nobody bats an eye at it. And so to see it being, pushed down on the kids,
child. That's ridiculous.
To at such a young age. I mean, it's the environment we live in. I'm not totally surprised, but it's just I'm surprised I didn't hear it. You know what I mean? Because those kinds of stories have been coming out, but
they're
like
shunned.
Getting used to it now. And it's like, oh, that's not even news. Y'all need to conform.
Yeah, so this school is called A Books Christian Academy. It's located at 1001 Roger Williams Road, Apopka, Florida. Their phone number is 407 884 0031. Again, that is 407 884 0031. And it's infuriating primarily because Sean King posted this earlier today, 8 hours ago. And it's just infuriating because the father, you can hear the father kind of like confused and starting to cry a little bit, like with the emotions of like, he even asked, I don't even know if I can cornrow, I don't even know if I can braid my son's hair, but can something be done? Like, can something be done? And literally you hear the lady just nonchalantly kind of saying, well, you have to talk to Miss Becky or something to that effect. Like, there's a total disregard, right? And so the son is just standing there kind of like, what am I going to do? But luckily they were able to go to a different public school that accepted him as is. But in my opinion, if you're going to a Christian school, he's probably paying to attend there.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. You said another public school. I was like, that's a public school? Hold on.
No, I believe this had to have been a private school.
So my money that I've paid thus far, because when you send your child to a private school, there is significant money that is required up front. All of that is now null and void because my son has locks. So when I came in here, And I'm pretty sure I had my son with me. You didn't think that it was a good time to tell me that there was a code, for your hair. You can't have your hair this way. You can't have wild colors. You can't wear dime size earrings. Like, no, that's unacceptable. No.
I mean, like, I feel like on one
hand,
hand,
it was a Christian school. Jesus had locks. Now what?
He had hair of wool.
Are you aware of any codes that prevent people, kids from wearing their hair any other way? Like any styles that are natural for white people that are not allowable. That's kind of what I want to.
So I feel that in the writing of this uniform requirement, that it obviously was directed to people of color.
That's right.
Like, I have friends that are white that have locks, right? But like, it's seldom and far in between. So especially, he's legitimately in elementary school, so he's like first, second grade. Okay, so like, why is it a problem? Like, the uniform is bought, the shoes are bought, right? He's clean. His hair is clean. It may not be the neatest of locks, but should that matter? Like, there's no roaches coming out of his hair, which is implying that this child is dirty.
Like, what about his hairstyle? What about having locks is going to hinder the education process for other students?
Well, they're saying that there's a requirement that the hair is not below the ear.
Oh, so that he can have it pinned up.
Well, that's kind of like what the father was trying to find out. But I think he was just flustered at that point. Like, he was just flabbergasted. Like, so you're telling me I can't even... I don't even think I can braid my child's hair. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because if the hair can't be past the ear, what about for a little girl who has who has really long ponytails?
Wow. So wow. How about that?
What about that then? So she can only wear buns. She can't wear beads. You can't wear. No, that's too restrictive. Hair is not going to make your teaching less effective. You're going to make your teaching less effective.
Yeah.
Hair has nothing to do with it. That's just an excuse. I don't buy it. Boo to you, school. Boo to you.
Yeah, boo to a Books Christian Academy. They aren't going by the book. Who knows what book they have created? But blessings to the public school that has opened baby boy with open hands, literally, and say, come on and be welcome. I mean, like, I feel like these are the things that LeBron James, I Promises School went against. It's like, come as you are, because these are the things that limit the child's ability to even learn. Right.
But that definitely shouldn't even. If his father was clearly financially capable of getting him in the school, like, no, that school is dead wrong. They need to revisit that policy. Period.
That's where I have the
I'm not. Well, let me clarify. I'm not 100% certain for sure. But in my private school dealings, I don't know any Christian school that's private. That's public.
Right.
I know plenty of Catholic schools that are still public.
Yeah,
but I don't know any Christian schools that are public.
Yeah, I don't see how the kid gets enrolled in the school to show up to then be surprised. It's my main issue with this story, and I hate to put this out there, but I swear I remember, Bevin, you're gonna feel this too, that Howard at the business school had a similar policy on the
locks experience,
the business, and as far as how you kept your hair and so forth. They didn't force you to do anything, but it impacted your grade. So
I think cleanliness is next to godliness, if that's that logic of that. And I just think it's called representation, right? But this is a baby. Like, obviously he couldn't say, hey mommy, I want locks. I don't think that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree with you, and I think, with this being a young child, it's a totally different thing. But I would expect, and this is moving the conversation a little bit forward with what you said as far as representation.
Yeah,
I would think or hope that Howard would be one of those places that would, push forward that kind of thing to say, hey, these are hairstyles that are
acceptable.
It's acceptable. It's basically a natural hairstyle.
Exactly.
That promotes how we grow our hair. Don't depict it as unprofessional simply because it's a style that you all will never really wear naturally.
You won't be able to have it the way that I have it.
Right.
I mean, this is a whole nother conversation, because I can even talk about my brother and how he refuses to get locks, probably because, you know, black guy driving a Benz. Like, my brother didn't have tinted windows. You know, I have tinted windows. You know, I have, all my cars, I've always had tinted windows. It's just, it's hot outside. You need tinted windows. And he refuses to get that because he feels like he'll be, you know, officially racially profiled. Black male driving a Benz, locks. Oh, he must.
I think you get profiled for the way you drive through the hood. Just my personal. Yo, you be flying through the hood
with your music blasting, just doing the most.
It ain't got nothing to do with the windows. It's how you roll.
I mean, it could be how you roll, but like legitimately, that is a characteristic of a stereotypical, you know, profile right there of what it looks like. Now, granted, Gregory graduated from MIT with 4.8 GPA, has a degree in architectural engineering, like went to USC animation, been working with stuff on Pixar and all that kind of stuff. But it's like when you first see somebody, you don't know anybody's rap sheet.
Man, I think that's a thing that we go through. I think as young black men, you start to think at first that there are things you can do to keep you from being racially profiled. But then when you find yourself, you know, in the car with no tint, a clean cut, and they still pull you over like, hey, you fit the description. Then you realize, you know what, there's nothing I could do. Like the thing I'm being profiled on is the skin.
It's the skin color.
Right.
And there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. Well, let's move on to something else. So another interesting thing is, you know, the skin color and how we are underrepresented in places of power. Or if we are there, we are kind of few in number. Maybe not even the number might not even be 5. I don't even know if you can even account for 5 people. And Angela Rye, who is pretty much our action fighter on the forefront of television, CNN News, is able to talk about this. Trev, can you let us hear this soundbite real quick?
Good dollars if you can name 5 black people in the White House. 5. $1 for each. You got 5?
You got that 5?
Nope.
Yeah.
No,
So
I
anyway,
don't have a list of the White House staff in front of me.
Give me my $5 back.
Girl, we talking $5.
With your broke ass. I think the point remains, right, that you can have the best and the brightest, and the best and the brightest be black. You can have the best and the brightest, and the best and the brightest be Asian. You can have the best and the brightest, and the best and the brightest be women. So what's fascinating to me is that corporate America, where Donald Trump is allegedly this big, rich billionaire boss that's figured it out. He's cracked the code. He still hasn't figured out that they've all said that diversity and inclusion is the path forward to ensuring that your bottom line is great. So speaking of making America great again, somehow it became synonymous with making America white again.
On one with A-Rye.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you guys heard that. But basically, she's saying she's petitioning one of the White House correspondents to be able to name at least 5 African Americans that are employed in the White House. Now, mind you, the White House is really large and it has extensions of people, and everybody doesn't have to report to the White House. But 5 actual employees of the White House, they couldn't name 5 African Americans. Not even the janitor, not even the chef. They couldn't, you know. Normally we good for cleaning something.
Nah, they probably. Oh, nope. I was about to say something racist. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay, wonderful. I mean, there was no one that they could name.
You can't say something racist. You can't say anything racist. You can't be racist.
Oh, she totally can be biased.
True. I was just gonna say
she was biased last week about.
I was about to say they took them jobs from us. It's probably gonna be a Mexican and cleaning the White House, man. But no, then I forgot. It's Donald Trump in the White House. Definitely not no Mexicans cleaning. No.
I mean,
don't say that.
Right. Woody Jones says you are fired. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it is. I mean, like, legitimately, you can't find five people.
Nah, they got rid of us all. It's the White House is white again.
The White House is totally white again. And so here, our friend Omarosa now is, in my opinion, I mean, I've met her in real life. She's really a nice person in real life. Like, when the cameras are not on, she's extremely a nice, intelligent woman. But for some reason, I just feel like, you know, she got carried. And so now it's a matter of, I got carried, I got kicked on out the curb, so let me find some dirt to now put out there. But I highly doubt that she wasn't unaware of this N-word usage prior to her signing on.
Oh, yeah, she.
I highly doubt that.
She gave old Donnie a pass.
She gave Donnie a pass, and
Donnie gave her a pass. Right on out the White House.
Yeah, kicked her right on out. But do you all feel that it's just entirely too much of him? I feel like his Twitter account should be shut down. Like, I just don't even feel like it's appropriate. It's not even safe for him to be saying the things that he's saying.
It's not presidential.
No.
Like, think about it. Barack Obama was a popular president. Bill Clinton, well, we can't really go to Bill Clinton. But, you know, presidents, you act presidential. When you think presidential, you hold this person kind of, unfortunately, at a higher regard. Even though they're human, yes. You know, it's certain things you just don't do because it really should be beneath you because you have a lot of other high level things going on. So how do you even have time to be on Twitter? Don't you have a bill to sign? Don't you have a war to attend to? Something? A budget to fix?
Right.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
You know I'm not. Well, I can't say that, but he's a popular president. That's why he's president. You know what I mean? And I think
he won for the popular vote.
If you think back to 2016, when all of us were sort of looking like there's no way in hell, he has no chance. Like I wasn't even worried about it. I went to Africa during the election, and just found out. And so you should have known. Like those folks came out the woodwork to vote for him because they feel him. They think, I guess they relate to him. They like the fact that he's not politically correct with what he talks about. He speaks very plain, and he's speaking to middle America and to that redneck segment. You know what I mean? And they like him.
Yeah. So Woody again from Youngstown said it's all fraud. You know, Omarosa meaning she said that we will all be kneeling to Trump. I do remember her saying that.
That's why when you said our friend, I just side-eyed you slightly because she ain't my friend. I mean, she don't deserve to be called a dog.
She's an opportunist.
I think so too.
She knew what she was getting into. I think she, that was her angle to get, I guess, or try to get a slice of the power and see how she could work it to benefit her, hopefully financially. And I think once she was in the White House, she at some point began to try them a little bit, and they felt like, you know what, we brought you in here to be one of our tokens. You know, we needed some
that token darky.
We need a little color in here, and it was you because you were playing ball. But now you're saying stuff, and we got to get you out of here. They got her out of there, and then she was like, you know, I got nothing to lose now. Let me go ahead tell you how I really feel. And I think she is spitting out now how she really feels because I can't see anyone. That I realize she's intelligent and she's a smart, ambitious woman.
Yeah.
I can't see anybody that smart and ambitious going into that environment and not being fully aware of exactly what they're stepping into. So I do think she's speaking her truth now. But as far as I'm concerned, it's like, man, you sold out. You know that was your price.
Yeah.
And I'm not really here for you one way or another. I'm not hating on you, but. I mean, if there's some sort of support her or go by I ain't never buying that. You know what I mean? I'm never going to any events that she's putting on or anything. It's just, I have no interest.
Right. And so Barrett Partington said the president shouldn't be calling anyone a dog. And that is legitimately true. Like that. I mean, I remember just thinking about what President Obama had to go through when they were going through the Trayvon Martin experience and how he was told as the president, do not speak on this situation. So there, you have people in place, PR, like analysts, all these people.
Put all these people in position now. So
yeah, I don't think he has.
These are all yes people, I presume.
He has all yes people around him.
You got
Anybody
it, Donnie.
that wasn't is gone. That's why we saw so many people getting fired because they were like, "I'm gonna be his voice of reason." He was like, "Nope,
I don't need that."
Out of here. Yeah,
yeah. I definitely feel like a lot of people after a while were like, "Okay, I can play up this facade for a little bit." And then when they got in, they were like, "You know what? I can't. This crap is ridiculous. Like this guy is doing." This guy is doing entirely too much crap that I'm not trying to fall for. So I'd rather get fired and know my name is safe than to be in a situation where I don't care how much money you say in an offshore account you depositing into my accounts. I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all money ain't good money.
Absolutely, all money is not good money. But you know what is good?
What's that?
The fact that DC police officers were able to find and arrest the driver of the killer victim of Micaiah Wilson. His name is Kevin Eugene Jones. I do not own him. I do not connect him to be my cousin at all, just because he has the last name is Jones. But he is found, and I pray and hope that he then rats out everybody else who's a part of this situation. Because if you are obviously abetting, then you most certainly are guilty as well in this scenario. Like, it's just not okay, you know. And it took over almost 4 weeks for them to find him. Which is ridiculous, but that is a good thing that they were able to find him. And so shout out to the police officers in DC who were able to do that investigation. Shout out, remember only a couple of weeks ago we had one of the investigators on that trial chime in during our interview with team who was the team that was like all strong, our doctor
Yeah, I remember.
Bevin looking at me like I'm stupid. She don't know nothing. What doctor?
I know something, but I could have not been here.
You were straight here.
Oh, I don't know.
Wasn't she here?
I don't think Bevin was.
Bevin wasn't here. Oh wow! Once again. Oh, that's right. That's when we got. That's when we were Dr. Ellis. That's when we were by ourselves again, Trev. That's when we had that full long day, and we were by ourselves. Everybody called out on us. So bottom line is Dr. Ellis definitely talked about how you know, there is just an infrastructure of breakdown, and we talked about how kids can't be kids anymore, which is just ridiculous. But in other news, let's go on down to West Baltimore and how being a black officer thinking that you have white privilege doesn't work for you at all.
He was the Dave Chappelle character that thought he was white.
Oh wait, the racist white guy. The racist. I just know that his socks were like Michael Jackson Thriller joints. Like,
and why was his pants leg so high?
I have no clue. Like,
Yeah,
he
had
legitimately had some issues. Like,
but he was straight trying to rock this man. He was really trying to rock his face, and that's why he rocked and lost his job.
Clearly,
but
and it was immediate. Like, immediate.
Oh, you know, Miss Mosby is not. She's not here for that at all. She's not playing. You put your hands on somebody, you got to go.
But I mean, there's plenty of white officers that have put their hands on people, and they have not gone anywhere.
True.
In Baltimore.
She said she's got to set the example somewhere. They'll let her get rid of her own. They'll let her get rid of her
Which is really trifling.
You know what? She presses the charges regardless, though. You got to give it to her. Like,
she pressed them on the white officers.
She's one of the first state's attorneys in the country to bring charges against officers for police brutality.
She don't care.
At least in the modern recent history.
Now, if they take it and don't allow, she does her part. She don't play. She is all black woman. She's black woman in the interview. She's like, you know what?
See me outside.
That was funny. It's like, dude wasn't really the guy he was punching. He wasn't really doing much. You know what I mean? But the officers seem to have a real rough time.
He did.
Beating somebody
and
that
the
wasn't
other
swinging back or
officer,
anything. Because it's like the dude do. If I swing back, I might get shot.
But I think all of them knew that. But all of them knew that. So that's why they specifically chose to say, oh, we got this. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate you have to see your mans get beat down, but it's like you need your mans to get beat down so you can film it to prove the evidence, because it'll be quick that all of them would have been locked up.
That's the truth.
If they would have came in to his rescue just to break it up.
Nope.
Oh, you all are going to be locked up now.
You all got charges, and you gonna be in jail for a long time.
But it's just unfortunate. What he says is rage. It's just an unfortunate situation that, like, bruh, like, what is this situation? I don't know.
He must
like,
say something about his mother. That's all
I don't know. Like, I ran into an
or
officer that is a punk too, and I'm just like, young. I really do feel like some officers, they just have the badge and they get this idea that, like, somehow it's like
my
a chest. Was it a V on the chest or something?
It's like all the suckers that was in school. You went to school with. They was the suckers. They couldn't really fight. Used to get punked all the time. they then become police
The officers. Okay.
so that they can be like, yeah,
They got some power.
I'm the man. You won't bully me anymore, Benny.
Not Benny. Listen, Benny. Oh, Benny. Listen, Benny. I mean, now don't get me wrong. This is a caveat. Obviously, there is a high percentage of officers who are very intelligent, who are doing an amazing job. We're not talking about those. We're talking about the idiots who legitimately are chauvinists, are dumb as hell. You can't tell them anything. You know, you tell them, hey, I'm Sharice Jones, the owner of the IAG Radio Show, and they sit up here and look at Trev like, no, you must be because you're a male. No, dumbass, he's not. Okay, like I legitimately have experienced this one-on-one, hand in hand, and unfortunately, it's just a really terrible circumstance that there are officers, male officers, who are chauvinists, and I was really interested.
Women officers are the worst.
Really?
Yes,
I get along with the women officers.
I feel they have something extra to prove. Not all sisters don't come. Sister girls don't come at me hard. Please don't.
Yeah, make that clear.
I'm just saying. Some feel like they have a point to prove.
That's what they say about some black cops in general.
Right.
Sometimes when they start in a predominantly white force, they want to prove that they with Team Blue.
Team Blue.
Team
I
Blue.
don't see black or white. I see blue.
Yeah, you're gonna see blue in your face. That's what you're gonna see. But the whole time, Barrett said it's a power trip. Author Elie III said it's like the S on the chest, the idea of, that kind of thing. And Camise Lee, who's Songbird, beautiful Songbird, she has a show this Friday at the Inspired Soul Band. It's her band. They will be at OTI in Largo. She says, how about the 2 DC officers suspended for not escorting a family home that filed a domestic dispute claim, and to get home and a life was taken as a result, a senseless murder that could have been prevented. I need them to do their job. That victim was a good friend of mine. Well,
sorry for your loss, sweetheart.
Absolutely. I mean, you're right.
That there are a lot of good cops out here.
There are.
And so in that scenario we were talking about in Baltimore, there were 2 cops there, and just look at the position it put the other cop in.
He looked weird. Like he was like, bruh, what are you doing?
I mean, but if you're him, you know what I mean? Like,
you can't get your man, because then it's like, oh, you're just going to allow him to disrespect. I don't know why I was talking to the wall. You just wait. You was on the wall like, hands up. You just going to allow him to disrespect you like that. Right. You supposed to be about blue. You don't see blue. But
Blue 32.
But on the other hand, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. I don't care what the color is. Nah, that's not.
But
that's
do you
not
call
what
him
we
a
do.
good cop? Because I think any other day he's a good cop. But he was put in that situation where it's like.
Are you talking about the side cop or the cop that was throwing the
side cop?
The side cop should have stopped Officer Haynes.
He should have pulled him off of him and been like, bro, get your ass up off this dude.
Other cops, abusing their authority and they don't do anything. Are they a good cop?
They are weak.
I feel like it's hard because it's like, do you stand up? Do you put your neck out there?
Yes.
Or do you don't put your neck out there? Let's go back to the whole idea of the Hispanics, who 2 of which were fired, and the whole crew said, up, it's time to go, like it was Color Purple. Okay? We, on the other hand,
man, Shawnee's got fired, but I ain't trying to lose my good government job.
No, I ain't trying about that.
I think they got paid a little more than me. What?
Right. Let me see if I can get that position now. Because I'm trying to move on up in this government.
Can I have your note?
I'm trying to be a GS9 instead of a GS7 now. You wasn't nothing to begin with.
Stick together, my people. That's how we don't stick together. We had this conversation offline. We don't. Our level of togetherness, it only comes in short spurts. Somebody black gets killed by a white officer. We together. A young girl, unfortunately, loses her life due to crime by somebody black. We together. Donald Trump called Omarosa a dog. We together. Slightly.
I don't think we together.
We're not.
And I already forgot that.
Micaiah Wilson. Right.
Man, are we really together? Because I know they knew exactly who some of those guys were. Somebody knew. There's no way they did that and people don't know yo, that's so and so.
Everybody know who did that, but it's
Somebody
always that
together.
fear of
Snitches get stitches.
right. Am I going to get handled if I say something now, or if I keep my mouth closed? Like that is ultimately something that is hard. And if you don't do anything, you're complacent, is what
They
Barrett
gotta
said.
go to the police, but somebody's daggone mother, uncle,
Exactly.
cousin,
Tell
somebody, knew,
somebody.
and those people are not. I know as a father, if you find out, you ain't worried about no snitching nothing.
Nope.
You know what I mean? You're going to straight let them know who did what. If you don't go handle it yourself.
Hello.
All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break right here and play some good music. If you are enjoying this conversation, please, by all means necessary, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Also, like our video, share it with your friends and those that are on the platform. We love to hear back from you. As you can see, we love to engage you all in our conversation because it's a lot of stuff to be talked about. And I just felt like...
subscribe, comment.
Absolutely. I felt like this episode needed to be a conversation by which we just convene and discuss what in the world is really going on. What's going on?
What's going on?
Somebody we've played before, D.O. Ashley Brown. I love this joint.
Hey.
It's been a long time. I've been waiting for it.
It's vernacular.
There's a war in the feeling, they ain't keeping it real. They think it's easy to peel just cause they flipping those bills. The only vote is for heal, but if I trump it'll cost. We already walking dead in the land of the lost. I've been taking it way back, say Jack. Been my own wicked woman on the track while you twerking in the trap. I'm gonna get them plaques, yeah, my mind is on them racks. I'm just stating loosely facts, go and get that contact with your loose leaf ass. Leaning on the wall with your bathroom pass. Need a Wonder Woman in your life, how fast? I'm gonna tell the truth, but you puff, pass. Speak my vernacular. Speak my vernacular. Speak my vernacular. She back, huh? For unlawful carnal knowledge, I'm wedged into worry while they suck and hurry. I'm just skating, do my derby. Watch these cameras all pervert me. Won't respect my name and dirt me, but I woke up early. Even when I'm late, I'm applesauce and frosting the cake. Bake your plate A. While they ingenuities 8, I'm planning an escape with the Save the World 10.8. Love potion number 9, fine dine. I want a piece of American pie. Lie under pudding pop shock that I ate the chocolate up. Why they sell me Californication? Afro on Rodeo Blaxploitation, and all this to the congregation. Speak my vernacular. Speak my vernacular. Speak my vernacular. Rock with a feel, cause I keep it ill will. Thank God he is still, whether red or blue pills, kill Bill, don't trust. Bent up like Eon Flux, fearlessly protruded with my elephant tusk. I see them shaking in their laundry cause I'm smelling the musk. They use their gimmicks as crutch. I did this all on my lunch. Break fakes up till late. When I'm on the mic, I'm late. They relate, capturing the moment. Got me all on tape when they say me. It's so dreamy. I'm a play date where they vacate. Rewind into they underlining faith. Back in the mirror for they sake. Speak my vernacular. Speak my vernacular. Speak my vernacular. Can you come again? Hello?
Yeah, that's what's up. That's Dr. Ashley Brown. That's I mean, can you speak what we talking? Mm-hmm. Can you walk the walk? I mean, listen, these things, it seems like, to speak to, Bevin's point, it seems like only when something happens to us, it's a momentary kind of result of action. Mm-hmm. But then it's like it fades away. And what Trev was talking about, we were off when we were breaking down last week's show. Trev was like, yeah, so, we're all not go to Home Depot, right? Which just fired an African-American male that is like in his 60s because a Caucasian male, who brought his dog in didn't have the dog leashed, which is the policy. You can bring your dogs in, but I mean, you got to have them leashed. You know what I'm saying? And he told him was good and was like, listen, if I wasn't on the clock right now, I highly doubt that you would be talking to me in the way that you were. And then they fired him. So it's like, okay, let's boycott Home Depot. So we boycott Home Depot for 2 months. And then we like, well, shoot, they got that wet vac on sale that I need. So I'm gonna go in there right there and get that for me real quick. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I'm just gonna put a baseball cap on. You know what I'm saying? At least they apologize at this point. Go to H&M. We got, monkeys on shirts depicting African American males, and that they're more superior and more brighter and intelligent than our white counterparts. Oh, they a protest. Okay, well, H&M got a 70% off sale.
They doing 100% off. You just come in and fill up a bag.
Well, why don't you think they aren't doing that? Like, our money, the black dollar actually matters. And unfortunately, we don't realize how important our money is. Even though we are the least likely to actually obtain an actual grant, actually obtain a loan to start up a business, we can't even get licenses to even have our own beauty supply store because that's locked down by the Asian, community. Can't even get licenses by our own county to open up nail salons. Can't even get licenses to have liquor licenses in the county, which is a difficult situation. So even if you wanted to bring, say, a franchise business that's not simply the McDonald's or the Chick-fil-A's, you can't bring the larger name businesses don't even want to come to Prince George's County because we can't even get our stuff right. There's all this red tape there. And it's just an unfortunate situation. It's like, how can we better ourselves if the things in our pipeline is so backed up? And it's just backwards. And I know for many people that are here in the Washington, D.C. area, a lot of our tax dollars are spent in Alexandria, Arlington, Virginia, Bethesda, D.C. Places where we live, we're not even getting that back into us. You know what I'm saying?
I can't even argue with any of that or about it. I feel like a lot of that power is in our own hands. That's us and the choices we make and our refusal to sacrifice sometimes, some of the things we want so that we can make our situation much better. Maybe you got to go without some of those restaurants that don't come to our area. Maybe you got to go without shopping at some of those stores or pay a little more or search a little harder to, buy from a store or establishment that appreciates or will show that they appreciate your business and lives in your community or invests in your community. And those are the kinds of things we got to do, but we just seemingly don't. There's way too much money in Prince George's County for anyone to justify not putting anything there, in certain areas that people want.
Right. Well, shout out to the owners of a place that is near my home that I'm so proud of. I have been frequenting Iverson Mall for the past 6.5 years since I have been a homeowner, specifically since it's in my district. But I recall going to Iverson Mall when everybody was going to Iverson Mall.
Iverson Mall was popping.
When Iverson Mall was legitimately a flourishing mall, and it wasn't 8 businesses owned by the same Indian family. But at the end of the day, I'm so grateful for the shops at Iverson Mall and the tropical smoothie cafe, which will be, their address is 3737 Branch Avenue, Temple Hills, Maryland 20748, and they will be offering healthy eating options
about time
and smoothies at Iverson Mall. So you don't have to just go to Iverson Mall only for the sugar cookies. We don't want to give out diabetes anymore at Iverson Mall.
I heard there's a dope sunglass spot or glasses in general spot in there. Black woman owns the joint. I heard the spot was dope. I'm trying to find the name of it. I was like, I gotta head up to Iverson Mall to check them out.
We need to beat the streets. Go find these businesses.
Well, we're going to invite the owners. There are 2 owners from Morgan State University to come
Morgan Bears. My daughter going to
come on over.
Sterling Optical. That's what it is. Sterling Optical.
Sterling Optical.
Yeah, you can follow them on IG.
Okay.
Sterling _
I remember Sterling back in the day.
17. Got some dope glasses in there. Sunglasses if you're looking for them. Support a black business.
Absolutely. So, I mean, there are some people who are coming in who are flourishing, but it takes so much more time. You know what I'm saying? Like the time frame of which we can get that type of experience. Like Nordstrom Rack, it took years for us to have a Nordstrom Rack in Woodmore.
And it's Rack.
And the other thing I don't understand, one additional comment that maybe no one cares about is once we finally get a franchise, it's always the crappiest stuff that's in there. Like TJ Maxx, right? You know, I love TJ Maxx, right?
Ooh, but you go to one in Virginia, girl, they got everything.
Absolutely. They choose to give a higher clientele of retail there.
Yeah, for our name brand stuff, you get Michael Kors.
Right. That's all you can get. DSW be looking real down, straight, and worried, depressing. I mean, like, legitimately. No haterization. I mean, it was great that we had an Olive Garden that popped up at, you know, District Heights. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful circumstance. Okay, Capitol Heights District. It's in the Heights, okay? That's all that matters. And so we're not having to go all the way to Bowie because that's where a higher price tag of people live. Look, think about Fort Washington. That one. There's nothing in Fort Washington but traffic.
Exactly. I've been saying that for years.
It's a good Thai spot. They got a Giant and a Safeway.
Wow. Wonderful.
They got 7-Elevens.
We don't have not near one Whole Foods. Whole Check. We don't have that there at all. We're not gonna get that. Mom's Organic.
Harris Teeter.
I mean, we don't have any of that. But listen, let's move on to something else that I feel like is important in terms of making sure that you stay hydrated. So at the University of Maryland, you know, it's kind of conditioning season, right? When you're off season and you're a freshman and you're trying to get on the team and make sure that you are then considered a starter, you try to push yourself forward. And unfortunately, a young man passed away this weekend from training camp because the coach was pushing so much so that he died out of heat exhaustion. And I felt like this was just entirely too close to comfort, because normally when I hear of athletes dying tragically, like instantaneously, it's because of my actual heart condition, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is an enlarged heart. And a lot of times athletes don't know it because they don't have an invasive EKG done when they have a physical. So they just think, I just got to push myself even more. But unfortunately, I'm interested to see the autopsy of this young man, just to be on the safe side. But literally, he died out of heat exhaustion, and water was not provided.
Well, that's a fail.
So the head coach has lost his job,
as he should.
I also feel it's unfortunate because if you're trying to get on the team, you're going to push yourself. You know what I'm saying? You look weak if you're not giving 110.
Yeah, if you feel like you're falling behind or you're not doing as well as everybody else, you're gonna push yourself.
Even harder.
To say, it's harder for especially young men to realize when they need to take a break and get some water. Shoot, it's hard enough for me, and I'm old, out of shape, and everything.
Oh, but when you say it's okay,
I still be going for it.
but when you call yourself it, it's okay. But if I say it, then it's a problem.
Yeah, that's right.
Double standards all around. We live in a world of double standards. But it's unfortunate.
My sister.
Oh my Lord! It's just an unfortunate situation that a child had to lose his life, trying to be a part or affiliated with something to prove himself, which I just think is just completely unacceptable. So my prayers, most IAG cares, right? It's one of our hashtags that we use when we are concerned and consoling of those who are not doing too well, or any times we're doing anything that's in the community related, we do hashtag IAG cares. So IAG cares about this, and this is something that is dear to our heart. So we definitely, our prayers are with the family. Also, our prayers are with Aretha Franklin, prayerfully that she is turning around, and we can say a little prayer for her, you know what I'm saying, and make sure that she's up and about and being sassy and being the queen of things that she is, the diva that she most certainly is. But let's get into some music, Trev. What else we got to play before we get to be with the tea?
This is one of my favorites right here that we had on recently. Sorry if you're tired of it.
Oh, no, yes. DuPont Brass, ILM. I love music.
Man, this joint just crank.
It definitely does.
I love music.
Hey.
Come on. Talk to me. Love music. Yeah. Soldier, what a motor unfold. Cause when he get a little older, he put his fam on his shoulders. Cause where he from, dreams fade. People living in the past cause the present cause pain. Many lyrics he write, got addicted to the mic, years that are like a king, he'd reign. Rest, rule, and abide. If you think I ain't got it, we gon' know that you lie. I do this rap on the side, play the horn, sing and compose with pride. That's the tip of the iceberg. You're Titanic, talking big, now you're all in the panic. Why the industry so manic? Most of the music is lame, so they barely understand it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love music. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hell yeah. I love music. All I ever know was this music. People come and go, but one thing's for sure, this love I'll never lose it. My daddy taught me if you're good at something, boy, you better use it. And since we go way back, music it's only right that I choose it. Grew up in church, putting in that work up on the choir. Learned from my peers where I may not see a major look that's so fire. And later on in school, fuck being cool, I'm trying to learn these skills. Fast forward, now your ass can pay to come and see me play. You gon' tell these tales. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love music. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hell yeah. I love music. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hell yeah. I love music.
Shout out to DuPont Brass. They had a very good show at Songbird just only a couple weeks ago. So shout out to them. Shout out to Quincy Phillips, who is tuning in right now, who is a bomb musician. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the musicians who have been tuning in, and to Sissy, who's always loving all the love and support we give each and every Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
And one last thing that I have to leave you off with this is that there was information about, I don't know if you heard about this, the priest scandal. An 887-page report of 300 priests who sexually abused 1,000 children in Pennsylvania from 1947 until now.
Wowzers.
1,000 children. Like, how do you, like, what is with this pedophilia situation? You know, what is,
and with the church and the accusation that the church helped to cover it up or didn't, report it to law officials. I got problems with all of that, and with the parents. Like, who goes to the, like, if your kid gets abused, who goes to the church to say, hey, something's going on with, someone here and my kid? Like, my first move is I'm going straight to either the person to to handle my business with them, or I'm reporting it to the police right away. I'm not going to
right. Ain't nobody
official within the organization. I don't care if it's a church. I'm not going to them to say, hey, we need to have a sit down.
I'm gonna be like Ray Donovan and just go ahead and just blast him myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just straight handle him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I tell my daddy right now, listen, there was a priest that did X, Y, and Z, that's a problem. Like any preacher, you know what I'm saying? I don't care. It's not just priests. I mean, priests might be doing it for kids.
Any person.
Anybody.
It's just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember having to tell my dad when I went through the whole sexual harassment stuff at my job, DC government, my dad was like, well, let me go ahead and, what's his address? I said, nah, Dad, you know what I'm saying? If he finds out he's missing a limb is broken or something, it may be traced back to me, and I can't afford for you to go back to jail. Okay. So,
off topic a little bit, but it has to do with this.
It's the dad experience of it's not going to be. It's just
parental experience.
It's just not going to happen. Like it's not about to go down And I feel like a lot of parents, unfortunately, not just those that are priests, but like the boyfriends or the husbands or the fiancés of the mothers of people who the child comes and tells the mom, oh, he would never do that to you. What?
Who says that?
There's many accusations of mothers not believing their children.
I've heard that. Yeah.
I had to do a lot of reports with that.
Yeah, nah. I believe you even if you're lying. I believe you. I'm gonna believe you until it's proven otherwise.
Hey, Dave Thomas says anyone can get these hands. I know that's right.
Hello.
Come on, Leo. Anybody can get these hands. Anybody can get this smoke. I mean, I don't have a child, but like I am an amazing auntie. And should I find out that something like that transpires, me and Betsy, we're going to find a way to get on down to where we need to get down. Okay. Whether we putt-putting or not, we're going to get there. You feel me? Because it ain't about that life. But you know, it's just an unfortunate situation. And then there's plenty of people who are now adults who are scorned and like confused and are struggling with this. And you know, then it's that whole question of who is God? Why did God do this to me? The question was, the lady said, as soon as I hear somebody talk about God, she starts crying. That's terrible. That's a terrible Pavlov reaction. That when you hear God, which must mean that the priest had to have used God as a way to tell her that this was supposed to be okay. That if you spoke about this, you might go to hell. How do you manage that? I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't.
That's bad juju right there. I don't need none of that.
And that juju is not on that beat, okay? Juju on that beat. Get him with the shoulders. Get him with the shoulders. Get him.
Because I'm going to. It's going to be death by cop because I'm killing everybody.
Oh, okay. Mrs. Officer. I can totally dig it. But listen, guys, it is time with Beep with the T. Beep with the T.
Hey.
Beep with the T. Beep with the T.
Hey.
Beep with the T. Beep with the T.
Hey.
Beep with the T.
What's good, peoples?
What's good, B?
So it's just a lot of stuff going on, guys.
Right?
So much. So I'm not going to touch on all of it because we are short on the time, but I'm going to just touch on a few things that were near. You know what? I'm going to touch on a few. First thing, let's start off. Like, I'm not even going to get into the gossipy. Let's start off with positivity.
Oh, okay, cool.
You all know who Zab Judah is, I'm assuming.
Who is that?
He's a boxer.
Yeah, the boxer.
So Zab, he's taking courses to become a certified nurse.
Wow.
He didn't take too many hits to the head because he was smart enough to know I need another gig. You know, after these boxing checks cut, you know, after I spend all this boxing money, I'm gonna be a nurse, or I need to know how to nurse myself back to health when I get clocked too many times in the head.
Indeed. So, okay, I can dig it.
Congratulations, Zab. That's the type of news we definitely like to hear.
That's an applause right there. I think so.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then, and other than we're gonna switch to Taraji, whom I love.
Oh, yes.
She has two things going on. One, she has another movie that's coming out with aka Erykah Badu.
Erykah Badu.
I'm super excited about it. It's called What Men Want, and it's where she somehow comes around to being able to hear the
inner
thoughts of men. Now, it was a movie like this before with Kevin Costner, I believe, and I think it was called What Women Want or something like that. So maybe they did a play on it, but that's going to be a really, really dope picture because I want to know what, not just me, I want to know what everybody think all the time. But that would definitely be one of my superpowers. That and invisibility. If you give me that and a cloak of invisibility, and then maybe the power to just, and then I can be anywhere I want to be, then I'll be good. That's all my superpowers I need. I can be an X-Men, and then that's that.
I think that film will do well. I mean, y'all want to know what men thinking. I just want to see if they're on point with how I think or not.
Oh, no. Nickel looking there.
I don't think they will be.
I don't think they will be.
Nah, Treb, because your little thoughts a little.
Treb, you are a enigma wrapped up in a colossal conundrum.
Get it, boo. Yes, use the words, okay?
You know, you different.
Yeah, he's different. He's different
over there.
I'm straight up.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Nah, he's wrapped in a like you think Treb is one way, and then you get to talk to him, and you really know him. You be like, this man.
Shit.
mama. There's mama.
That's how it goes. But in addition to that, Taraji is also she's starting a foundation to kind of tackle mental health in Black communities.
Oh,
and
wow.
I think that is an amazing thing. And I really hope, I know she's in LA now, but I really hope that she lets her, initial chapter of this be here home base. We have a lot of mental health issues here in the DMV, child.
Girl, I was in the movie theater. This lady was slapping herself in the face. That was at a $5 movie theater. I support.
Hey,
I support, you know what I'm saying, Marlow Heights. Understand this. I support my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
I support the $5 movie theater too, because why I'm gonna pay $12.50 at Magic Johnson Theater when I can pay $5? And I mean, I'm having sticky floors, but it's okay. I'm watching the same movie.
I mean, but Rivertown has reclined seats. That is an amazing situation. But their prices aren't $5. So
exactly. So Marlow Heights it is. So yeah, Taraji, definitely. I hope that you bring that here. Start it here. Start with home, because home is where the heart is, and your kindred folk here need that, because clearly they're not paying enough attention in the government and stuff like that. So we need somebody of a celebrity status to come and make things happen, because clearly that's sometimes the only time things happen is when a celebrity brings light to it. Now let's get on to the gossipy stuff.
All right,
because I know that's probably what y'all been
boop, boop, boop. I feel like I need some. What are those sound effects, Trav? The like boop boop boop. If you don't wake your ass,
he might not have those.
He does. Thank you. That's what I wanted you.
He had already
the horn. Okay, you know what it is. I just wanted you to get that horn, so it's like time to get into it.
First.
Let's
talk about this. So y'all know Teyana Taylor. She was on tour. Well, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I didn't know that it was a tour with Jeremiah. I just thought it was Teyana.
Well, we talked about it last week about her being here at 930 Club, right, and her wig came on.
But we ain't saying nothing about it. That's the tour with Jeremiah.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I just thought it was.
I didn't realize Jeremiah got quite a few songs that kind of bump. But
yeah. So anywho.
Okay.
Teyana Taylor. Teyana. I be saying her name wrong. Sorry. She has left the tour. She left it. So
where's the screeching sound?
I make my own. It's okay. So Teyana Taylor has left the tour because there has been some going back and forthness between her and Jeremiah. Jeremiah is apparently being a divo on the tour.
No.
Yes.
Is she saying her sets are too long?
No, he was doing things like messing with the sound. At one point, they had a conversation where about the respect issue, we're in the same lane, don't demean me. And then he came out after the set and was like, yeah, we want to thank Teyana Taylor for opening for me.
Oh, you tried it.
And then Teyana was like, look here, Petunia.
Oh, yes.
The show is packed for me. And after my set, the people leave. Like, stop it. Like, all you do is sit in your princess chair and be a princess. Cut it. And so they're kind of going back and forth on social media. And then Jeremiah, he posts the clip of Lord Duval saying, I'm living my best life. I ain't going back and forth with you suckers. Yeah. And then the caption to it was KTSE, which is the title of her album, Keep the Same Energy.
Yo, if you a dude and you going back and forth on social media,
he not living his best life because he going back and forth. He went back and forth with her. Clearly went back and forth with her. But he messed up.
Safari.
Boop boopity boop boop boom boom. I was getting in there.
Yeah, it's not a good one.
No, I think now his tour is going to significantly decline because I like Jeremiah. Don't get me wrong. He definitely has some hits. I definitely think I have his full catalog in my phone of songs just because, I like music. I like different stuff. However, I can't say that I would personally go to a concert just to exclusively see Jeremiah. Nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Teyana Taylor was the reason. She was the reason. Yes, she was. And her whole album is fire. She's fire. She's a performer. She performed out her wig.
Right, and kept it moving.
She
pulled that Beyonce experience, and when you flipped over the stage and you got back up,
she snatched everyone in the crowd's wig and then snatched her own and continued on. She's amazing.
Yeah,
so
that's professionalism.
She can do her own, so she doesn't need him. She didn't need him. I guess she was just doing it or whatever for s and giggles, but she don't need him.
She was being cool.
She was
being cool. It's like whatever. Let's do it.
True.
And he's
but I guarantee she's going to create her own tour afterwards.
She's going to create her own tour, and it's going to sell out. People love her. Period. And in other Teyana Taylor news,
okay,
she's also featuring or gracing the pages of the September/October 2018 issue of Playboy.
Oh well, all right.
I'm looking at that's the official one.
That's the one.
Let me see.
My angle, that joint looks crazy.
Let me see.
Now she's a hot commodity, but not that picture.
That's not a good. I don't.
Come on,
not that. No.
That wig looks like it's played. Like it's
do her justice.
She's a beautiful girl.
I'm sure the inside pictures are better. They give you one picture on the outside, and then you get a
full spread.
So I've been told.
You get a full spread.
So I've been told.
You don't know personally.
Good point.
So you heard. Oh, by the way, that's what's been on this. That's the grapevine. That's great articles, my ass.
I want to see what she had to say.
That's what I had heard. So okay, yeah, Trev, you'll let us know.
Of course.
And then in gossipy,
of course,
in gossipy queening news. So Nicki Minaj, who I like, she released Queen. She released it, and somehow along the way, people were saying, "Oh, this song is about Safari," and then it kind of came to where she was just doing something that she's not even known for. She was spilling tea, and I was like, "Oh, this is so messy," but I can't stop looking.
It was like a whole gallon. There was like aisle 4, please clean up.
It's so messy, but I can't stop watching. But you know what? Honestly, as cliche as Safari is, he really was taking the high road in this situation. He was allowing Nicki to be messy, and he just wasn't completely feeding into it with her. He definitely said a few things, but he was, I guess, speaking facts on stuff that happened between their relationship, and just trying to say, okay, well, you're saying this, but blah blah blah. But he wasn't going dirty. He wasn't going for the jugular like Nicki was. She basically said, I should have never paid for the headline. It's already falling out. God don't like ugly.
Oh, wait a minute.
Then a picture appeared.
Is that for men?
For men, shorty.
Oh,
a picture appeared.
They say Tiger was.
She said you and Tiger went to the same doctor. Safari said we didn't go to the same doctor. We just went on the same day. So
get out of here.
He said. I mean, it's hard to make fun of it when somebody owns it. It really is. It's. I got my hairline fixed. And what about your butt though? Oh. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I just found it funny. She dropped the album called Queen and then did some of the ratchetest things.
She dropped the album called Queen and is acting like a jester, a court jester. And I love you, Nick. I do. I really, really do. But this is uncharacteristic of you. Keep on your Beyonce. Keep your mouth closed.
I think she's just now feeling like after they broke up, she put out quite a bit of music, but I think she's just now feeling like she has dispelled the rumors that he wrote a lot of her stuff.
He even said, he said that he didn't write her stuff. Like, come on, Nicki, at a certain point, you don't have to add fuel to the fire. Let people think what they want to think. So what? It does not impact your pockets.
I think it matters to her though. I think it matters to an MC. Like, I think she
7
loves
years
the music.
later.
I think she loves it. She resents the fact
7 years later,
this dark cloud is hanging over her. That
7 years later,
somebody else
she coming off
some of her stuff.
It's slightly coming off as bitter, just a little bit.
I feel like it's all propaganda.
It very
I
well
feel that
could
it simply just sells to boost her album.
And she has the Queen Radio, the thing she's doing on Tidal. And
I'm not going to hate on it, but it's ingenious because it's getting everybody to do what?
She's
talk about herself.
She's pulling a Kardashian. So
I mean, he's getting some deals out of it.
He's getting book deals. He's getting deals with Just for Men. Like, I feel like you were with that person for a really, really, really long time. We don't know the ins and outs of your relationship. We don't know why you broke up. We don't know if you broke on bad terms. I'm just saying, you at one time loved and dedicated a lot of time to this person. So you definitely don't want to see something bad for that person. So you might be right. This could be a tactic. And they got me talking about it, and I don't like doing that. So on to the next one. So she dropped this. It's the song called Barbie Dreams. And it's basically like a play on an old Biggie joint, Dreams. Where he's kind of, it's good.
Like
it's good. It's good. She definitely did a good job.
Yeah.
When Biggie was talking about all the, R&B chicks he would want to do, she's talking about all of the hip hop people or whatever, and she had to come out and say, it's not a diss. Everybody I mentioned in the song is somebody that I rock with, and this, that, the third. So she hasn't been getting backlash. I think she's been getting a lot of good press for this specific song. But the reason I even mentioned this was to say, it's a girl on Instagram. Her name now is Lala Milan. It used to be Lala Scissorhands. If you follow any of the comedian pages, she's always with Quay, who does TT, who wears the green wig. So she has done a play on Barbie Dreams where she does this, and she goes at like all the social media people. She does Just Hilarious, DC, just everybody. It's so funny. It's so good. It's ingenious. She just got verified on Instagram also, by the way. So big ups to her. She's doing big things. But if you have an opportunity, I'm going to try to repost it onto our page. But it's super funny. I mean, I liked it. I like different stuff. I'm thinking y'all might like it too.
Yeah, check that out.
So yeah, that's the tea, y'all.
All right, that is so dope. We appreciate the tea. There's a couple things I wanted to piggyback on. Lonnie B, who is I think he's like an inspirational speaker, who just gives you all the kind of life that you can possibly need here in the DMV area. He has a podcast that happens at One Love Massive every Tuesday, I believe, and Thursday. He is having a tour, and sometimes I love his stuff. I know, I mean, sometimes it's a bit much with the whole, he's like, good morning, B, you know what I'm saying? But like, if you could understand what he's saying, it's still trying to give you positivity of saying, like, listen, one of the things I love when we have this conversation with friends is like, listen, you can't be my friend and you're telling me somebody's talking about me. You should have very well cut them off at that beginning. And as soon as they mentioned my name, the conversation should have been skewed and ended. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute, not let me gather this information about you and then relay it to you. Cause now you're just taking, if you bring in a log to me, that means you're taking a log away from me as well. And so now we have a problem. So it's just very encouraging. If you just need something to kind of lift your spirits or something like that, go ahead and follow him at Lonnie B on Instagram and on Facebook, because he just gives you that inspiring, awesome feeling. And then in terms of awesomeness, there is a movie that's coming out on November the 21st called Green Book, which is basically about a black jazz player, pianist, who ends up befriending a white male who they develop a true friendship, and he becomes like his chauffeur and kind of like confidant and protector. And I think it's something that we should just see, because you normally see the role of a black man being the chauffeur and the protector, versus it being a white man who kind of can see from his side of what he has to go through. And so the paradigm is like, man, I'm not funky enough to be accepted by black people, but I'm too black to be accepted by white people. So who am I? But I just think it's going to be a dope, very positive movie. And I don't feel like there's been that many movies out there like that. And then in terms of other good news is that, oftentimes we petition a lot of these kind of like Aaron Brockovich experiences and nothing ever happens. And so just not too long ago, a man was awarded $289 million in a lawsuit against Monsanto which is the large corporation that was pretty much killing a whole heap of people, right? From him getting terminal cancer. And they actually awarded him $289 million by the lawsuit, and the jury was able to do that, which is monumental, because there's a plethora of other locations that like have the manufacturers of fertilization that's all over the land, the cows, the chicken coops, all of those kind of places like that, and people are legitimately sick, can't drink the water. You know,
It's basically Kimlon.
It is
But
yes.
because of the nature of his job, he spent more time than the rest of us do around, you know, that
exposure.
Yeah, he's exposed to it more.
Right.
Around those chemicals, and it got to him. But all of us are being, well, a lot of us that you know have used those services are exposed to it.
Oh, we most certainly are exposed to a lot of things that we don't even know. There was a video that was sent to me about genetic modified or GMOs in the candies that we eat. Considering that, you know, Halloween is approaching us, if that's a pagan holiday that you celebrate, you know, Reese's Pieces. Shoot, I love Reese's Pieces. You know what I'm saying? They got GMOs in that. You know what I'm saying? They had GMOs in Snickers. They have GMOs in Paydays. They got GMOs in Musketeers. I know my grandma used to love GMOs. You know what I mean? She probably did.
She used to love GMOs.
She loved God, monthly organization. I don't know. No, just kidding.
God's musical organization.
Yes, there we go. Thank you very much. Let's do that in editing and post edit. But definitely, you know, my grandma loved Musketeers. You know what I'm saying? And it's just an unfortunate thing that
you think it's in Butterfingers?
I think it's a majority of all the candy that we eat.
It's in a lot of the food, genetically modified organisms.
I know, man.
Like you look at bananas.
Bananas not the same.
Seedless watermelons.
Right. They even talked about what is I used to love boneless when I used to eat chicken. I used to love boneless wings. They saying that's rat food.
They said that's a rat. Where you get a boneless wing from? I just thought it was a piece of the. You know how you kill it's a boneless chicken breast breaded and fried. That's what I thought. But I always opt for my bone in. I don't know why it just tastes better.
I thought it was another way of calling it a nugget without saying a chicken nugget.
You know
That's what I thought.
Oh, right. Well, what is a chicken nugget? Let's not even go into that.
Same thing as a boneless wing.
We just don't know.
I mean, the same thing as a hot dog, basically.
Ugh.
Yeah, high fructose corn syrup. It's all in sodas.
Tastes delicious.
Gotta look for the non-GMO stickers on all food, which is very true. Shout out to Councilwoman Vanessa Maddox, who is sitting in with us on tonight. And you know, it's just an unfortunate thing. Thank you, Camise, for mentioning this tribute, which is, you know, I wasn't going to come to the show tonight because I just didn't feel mentally prepared to be here. But it turned out to be a circumstance by which I'm glad I'm here. So, you know, it's been 4 years since my grandmother has passed. She's legitimately my heart of hearts, my greatest supporter, the truest mom I could ever have in my life. And the only thing she's ever wanted me to do was to be happy, loved, successful, and respectful. I feel like I kind of have embodied majority of that at some point, and still working towards that. But one of the things that I had to do was, you know, she wanted me to sing the Lord's Prayer often for her. And I basically would sing the Lord's Prayer for her just to brighten her day. And then somehow, just a year from the time of the video that I had recorded of me singing to her while she was in the bed, and she was kind of like singing along with me, a year to that date, I had to write her obituary and sing the song at her funeral, which was very, very difficult. And that was probably the best time I've ever sung that song outside of being in the studio. I feel like that was probably the best time that I sung the song because I knew it was in honor of her. But it's the most difficult thing to do, to get up and sing when it's someone that you love so much is gone, and you're looking at their casket that they're laying in. And then luckily, you know, I decided to
wait a minute. Speaking of it,
let's go ahead and play that.
Oh,
Grandma, just thinking about your mother, say hello and tell you how much time she loves you, and she'll talk to you later. Later, be blessed. Love you, really? Grandma.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
And that's our show, guys. We definitely want to thank you for tuning in today. Thank you, Sharice, for stepping up and coming in, even though you were having a difficult moment. Your heart is strong. We love you.
Yeah.
IAG, baby.
Love you guys.
Harsh.
Somebody's knocking at the door. Nobody's home. Looking through the peephole, but love don't live here anymore. Said I'll never do it again. We just gon' be friends, yeah. Then I let you back in, and that's where it all began. I gave you my heart, I gave you my time, and all the things you promised to me turned out to be all your
Shout out to my mother.
lies. And then my heart stopped
Tuning in.
and the walls blocked it, and it skipped a beat, and now we're on repeat. Yeah, yeah.
Sharice, for real, it's just me and you.
That's Yusha Shad. This is my new single, Heart Strong. You can find it everywhere. Digital media songs are downloadable. Thank you guys for tuning in to IAG. You can follow us at IAG Radio Show. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We're here every Wednesday, rain or shine.
Gave you a lot, I gave all I got, and it wasn't enough. I gave you my time, I tried to compromise, it's still not enough. When it gets rough, though, should I stay or should I go? Yeah, should I roll up my sleeves, pack up my bags and leave? I gave you my heart, I gave you my time, and all the things you promised to me turned out to be all your lies. And then my heart stopped, and the walls blocked it, and it skipped a beat, and now we're on repeat. Yeah, yeah. You said this time things will change, they still just stay the same. It's you, it's me who's the blame. We just keep on holding on, round in circles going on. The needle of the song,
Real talk,
of the song, of
If
the
you don't know where you're going, then you keep looking back. But with energy, you attract what you keep looking at. They say love is a drug, it's addictive as crack. And seeing me on timelines got you finna relax. But I don't trip. I laugh when you block me on the gram. I hit you on your birthday, cuz that's who I am. You sent a reef text telling me I'm dead to you. But stay like in my picture, so I'm never dead to you. You be back and forth like a swing with a kid on a scare. So you shake up the bottle, then leave the lid on it. I be sincere to get that old thing back and make it pop, but you scared, so the whole thing's flat. You be thinking that I'm constantly telling you lies, but you will see the truth if you look in my eyes, girl. I just stopped at Wendy's and bought us some fries.